Hey, 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 SlowMoe. Wanted to give everybody a quick recap of how the end of my nation's run went. Now, I'm going to preface a little bit with I am admittedly a little weak at this track, so I kept my expectations pretty low. Um, I'm running in GT3, right? So let's be honest, it's somewhat not a big deal how this plays out. So trying to have some fun with it, learn a little bit. I really planned on doing 2 races. The second race was pretty non-eventful. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the first race here, and then just kind of talk through how it finished out. So, first of all, let me show off the car here a little bit. Look at this. Look at this. I got it right. So if you'll notice, the Dumb Guys Do Racing decal wasn't covered up by my number. So I got it right. All right. So anyway, big shout out to Dumb Guys Do Racing. If you are a racing fan, check out their podcasts. You can find it on Spotify. Really, good kind of description of what's going on in the week of Gran Turismo. These guys will really give you some insight and, some helpful stuff that really could benefit you throughout your week of racing. So check them out. First lap, I started out in the back. Low expectations. Really just wanted to run. And this is one of the weekly races this week, and honestly, I haven't run that either. So I'm in the Ferrari. I do like the Ferrari here. The Ferrari. An early penalty, it's not really a big deal. I'm in the back anyway. And I'm going to try and fight my way through penalty or not. Just because you know how this goes. People can get bumped out. It's all kinds of chaos. So a couple passes there. The other thing I'm really trying to focus on here is to keep the tires down, not lose traction and slip out. Just from doing my practice laps, I know that was a big risk for me, which is also why I'm driving the Ferrari and not the Supra or anything else. Everything else I drove, I had a lot of trouble keeping the traction down and just kept spinning out in different places. And I didn't have the consistency that I had here. So, penalty served. Here we go. We're on lap 1, coming through the last turn into the chicane, which there's my freebie. So, started out in last, first lap up into 12th. Pretty happy at this point. I got 14 left. Let's see how I can do it, right? So I'm pushing. I really like this view. This is not something I've done a lot of recently, but I just decided today I was going to check it out, and I like it. I like it a lot. So I'm going to move up ahead a WRX, near and dear to my heart. Look at him go. Maybe I should have drove that. Another freebie. So we're up to 11th. I'm watching Top Gunner. Here we go down the straight. Let me give you a different camera. Yellow flag out. Heavy brakes. And Havoc actually, if I remember correctly, qualified 1. So gotta love the servers. Wasn't that beautiful? Anyway, so we're running. Pretty happy with where we're at. 2 people with pens in front of me. Certainly progress up. Little aggressive, getting in the dirt. Just to be honest, over pushing a bit, maybe just a bit. There's penalties galore. Look at these guys. Nobody's getting out of the way. Heavy brakes. Oh, big wall. I'm gonna lose a little bit, but get it back together. So really kind of happy about how that worked out. I hope I got this microphone thing figured out. It tells me it's got the right microphone setting, but it might not be, so I'm going to check this video out. If it doesn't work, I'm buying a new microphone. All right, into the last turn, going to the straightaway. Obviously, I don't have the line on that turn. I wasn't taking it far enough outside. Those guys were just gaining speed and toasting me. Little help from Havoc. Big shout. Thanks, buddy. I'm trying not to slow you up, but I end up doing it anyway. All right, so we're cooking. Lap 3. Coming down into this section. I've been running it pretty much flat out with just a little lift right there. Heavy brakes. Trying to get back inside. But there's cars there, so anyway, so we move. Look at these guys. And that was the end of my race. That right there. I think somebody quits because I don't finish last. But that's pretty much it. That's how it ends. Because then there's that with the dirty tires. So another penalty, or more penalty. Ah, bummer, right? Hey, that's racing, you know. My goal now is to grind it out, get myself to a better driver rating, get a little bit more consistent at the tracks. So I'm really trying to challenge myself and learn some new tracks. One thing I will recommend for beginners, do the circuit experience. You know, if there's a daily track coming out, run the circuit experience for a little bit, then go in and do some time trials, and, you know, get yourself a competitive, consistent lap that you can run over and over, and then go into the dailies and see how you do with that. That will, time over time, be a much better, consistent success ratio than just hopping into a lobby and seeing how it goes. But you know, a little preparation goes a long way in this game, and even, you know, this being an example of putting some preparation in, was it enough? Probably not, but let's be honest. You know, it's still a video game. I'm not getting paid. We're not making money, so there's only so much time you can really put into it. So, you know, you got to manage that, you know, time to value ratio well. So, all right, we're going to basically do this. Lap 4, 15th, 5, 15th, 15th. Oh, I passed somebody. Somebody must have binned it. 13th. I feel like I give him that spot back. Yeah, 14th, 14th. The pit. 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. All right. Like I said, I am not even going to go into the second race. I'm just going to use the word embarrassing. So my Nations was finished. Let me go back into that real quick here. Just look at a couple of the highlights. We'll check out where some of the folks have finished. So here's our Nations Cup, round 7. From Missouri in GR3, if I'm not, GT3, excuse me. I'm ranked 3rd. 2 people in Missouri better than me. Domestically 280th and regionally 346. Now, here we go. The big dogs, if you will. Actually, let me do this here real quick here. Right quick here. All right, so out of our friends, Mullet being one of the biggest point earners at 779, Shaggy Doo 611, Papa's House of Games Papa 292, Mead Ham at 231, Big Joe 120, Mustang Chuck at 89. I come in here down in the lucky number 7 spot with my 86. I snuck out Gergen. He put up 79. My brother Angry Fredbird at a 62. New Breed Racing I don't hear too much from him. I don't know if he's still broadcasting or not. 36, and Lonesome Dove at 31. So, what did I do? We're going back in. Hold on. That went Zoom. Full Zoom. I was not fully prepared for the full Zoom. All right, so in the GT1 group here, you're going to see some names here. Some of them you may recognize, some of them you may not. Hayward. There's Mr. Grove Street. What's that? 14th place. Nice job, Grove. APX, Hypercrest. Some of you guys are probably shouting out different things. I know that guy, I know this guy, blah, blah. There are a lot of people in this list that we, you know, as a community, watch podcasts all the time. There's Blaze. Saw him running the other day. PDX team, we got Boggs right here. Boggs coming in at 47th. Mr. Plaka Plum coming in at, what is that? Boy, my eyes are bad. 51st? 50th? I guess he's tied for 50th. GSR Show. No name person. Mr. Shaggy Doo at 75. Ricky Bobby. Purple Sector, we've seen plenty of him. Did I pass Mullet? I thought Mullet was higher. PDX Jimbo, look at that guy right there. I could have sworn Mullet was in this list much higher than what I'm looking at. I know how many points he had. 779. There he is, 35th. Nice job, Mullet. And I also thought, maybe I missed it, I thought I saw Naughty higher up. Maybe he's in the next 100, but hey, kudos. Look at all those folks in the high numbers there. Congrats. That's awesome. That is awesome. So, all right, enough reviewing. Let me go in and show you guys real quickly how the manufacturers went for me. And for those of you guys who don't know, I signed Lexus. Signed Lexus. Had to do it. Got my Grand Valley picture there. Oh, yeah. Manufacturer's Cup. I enjoyed the Manufacturer's Cup. I don't hate the track. I don't love the track. But I only did one. I did not do my own livery. I just kind of rushed in. I picked one. I went royal. It was royal. It felt royal, but that's what I got. All right. I qualified in P11. I did run practice laps. Let's see. I think this one I did day of instead of day before. But I'm also quite familiar with this track. I've never been a stranger to this track. Always been, you know, I'm not afraid of it. Let's put it that way. So, let me get the race details on as we cross the finish line. I love the jet flyovers. I really do. There's some things in Gran Turismo that they absolutely got right. All right, so first turn. Obviously, you know, some people don't use brakes or whatever's going on there. So we got a couple wild ones out there. Look at these guys slipping and sliding. I think that's the Volkswagen. Yeah, I get. I'm a little upset about the Volkswagen in this scenario. We'll discuss that here in a second. But coming down into the sharp left, heavy brakes coming in. That's a spot, sure. Sucks though. All right, coming into the chicane. After watching Mullet, man, I was not hitting the correct line here. No speed. See, Mullet, that's why you're supposed to do your stuff earlier so I can watch and learn. I did kind of watch Naughty, but I really wasn't watching. I was actually a little occupied with a couple things. But anyway. So coming down into the big turn, I'm early on the brakes through this just because I want to get inside quickly. And I'm pushing. And obviously it's a WRX. I'm not going to try to spin him out. He may as well be my buddy. I did have an okay line there. I wasn't getting the RPMs up quite as high as I wanted through that. Again, after watching some of the other folks ran, a couple better ways I could have done it. WRX diving, not dive, I shouldn't say that. That wasn't a dive. Taking the inside is what he did. Forgive me. Now, I like my position here to be here for this turn. I really liked third down that hill. I just wish I'd have known how to take in that. It does a little better than the previous route. Oh, and before I forget, pits that don't require a tire change are the dumbest thing ever. Dumbest thing ever. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it and I'm going to mean it. I want race strategy. What am I going in for a cup of water? Come on, guys. It's 15 laps. What are you doing to us? Now, with that being said, I did do it. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't want to pit for no reason. If I go in the pit, I should change something. You should almost be required to change something if you go into the pit. What are you stopping for? Stop. That's a silliness. Come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. And here's my point. If you're going to make me go into the pits, at least let me run softs for a couple laps. Or laps. Whatever. Now you're making me pit and I can't even chance it. It's dumb. It's just dumb. Just another example of... Sometimes you think they put a lot of thought into this game, and you can clearly see that they have time, effort, and thought. But some of those little details can really make a big difference on your user, for your players and your users. And if you miss the ball there, then you miss the ball. So, I wish they'd start listening to people. It sounds like that's probably their weakness. Alright, so going deep here. You can get out of that pretty easy, I think, if you do go deep. Just kind of cut it and giddy up. I like to cut that. I'm in third, hitting it into fourth as quick as possible up the hill. No downshift for me. I stayed in fourth, stayed on it, pushed. I got out of fourth pretty quick. This Lexus runs good. I liked it. I like it a lot, to be honest. And you may see the little traction control guy and the stability control management lighting up. I did run those. And I liked it. It's a newer car that I'm not terribly familiar with. A super competitive environment where I don't manage my inputs as well. So those two items, I think, played a big part in me keeping the car forward and on track. I think that using the traction control and the other type of things like that can be very helpful if used the right way. So, depending upon the car and the track, and sometimes you need something, sometimes you don't. So, that's my opinion on that. Will you be faster without them? Probably. Are you more likely to wreck? Maybe. Maybe. I'm an amateur guy. I mean, I don't, you know. So, some of my thought process is to do that. So, here we go with lap 5. I'm going to do a little skipping ahead for you. 8th place. 8th place. 8th place. Oh, I think there was a pass that was happening right back there. Let's go back. There you go. Penalty. 7th place. 7th place. 7th place, 7th place, and we're on him, right? And I'm not going to say that he was hitting me intentionally earlier, bumping me out of the way, but he did bump a little much. And I'm gonna go ahead and be honest. I don't like Volkswagens. I don't like the cars. I don't like any of them. Personal thing, just me, just my thing. Don't like them. And so, yes, I was a little intentional on my pinch of space. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not sorry. All right. Moving on. We're in lap 5. First guy goes in. Now, one other thing I will add, in addition to not knowing a great strategy, I haven't pit yet. None of us knew when to pit. Look, people are just now going in. We're running the whole race. And it's interesting because it created all this space for you to run and then pit, and it was really interesting. All right, so I'm in 5th. I'm seeing everybody pit. I know I don't have to change. Trying to decide when I'm going to do it. But I like the space I have right now. So I want to try and run laps. Now, the other thing I'm going to say is looking at my lap time, 19, 17, 19, 16... 18, 18. I ran a couple of good laps, but I wanted to run like the 16s and 17s for most of the race, and that's I think they would call that pace. I didn't have the pace I needed. Now, I will also add I did a one and done here. I did a one and done. This is my first manufacturer's, I think. Not my strongest track, but I know it. I'm happy with the manufacturer I've chosen. I'm happy with the way the car drove on the track. There's a couple other tracks in the lineup that I think I'm going to look more forward to than some of others. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, here you go. 5th. Look at the gap. Look at the huge gap in front, huge gap behind. All right. Lap skipping time. I'm into the pits. Yeah, something happened. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We're in 7th. That was my pit. It took 35 seconds to get to the pit that was a third of a mile away because it's realistic. Anyway. All right, here we go. Sorry, that was Mrs. SlowMoe giving me a call. All right, so we're lap 12. I've been through the pits. We're in 7th. The Volkswagen's behind us. He's coming out of the pits. And there's a pretty big gap in front. The gap behind's not as huge. And he's in a Rari Smirnoff Ice. So I'm bouncing a rev limiter coming into turn 1. Trying to keep the tires together. No penalties. Little delicate, if you will. Blew it. I blew it. I just blew it right there. Had it, but couldn't put it together. So there's a halfer. And you'll see he's closing. Especially in this section, the Rari's going to close on me. It's just so easy to drive through here. Okay, coming through. So I'm into the chicane. I got a pen. And Cell Electronics goes into the pits. So we're going to pick up a spot there. No, he's out. Penalty served. Round goes spinning off here, I think. Oh no, he's way back there. Run deep. Of course. Why not, right? It was okay. That's a penalty for him. Big Deborah going into the pits here last lap with a lap to go. Interesting strategy. Again, I wish I'd have known to do it first, second lap, whatever. Man, oh man. Bummer. Next time I have to pit for no reason. I'll do it the right way. Alright, so skipping ahead a little bit. You'll see I got a penalty coming up. Or no, I'm sorry, I didn't. There you go. He's way back there. Coming into turn one. I can see people in front of me, and it's Big Deborah. There we go. Alright. Big Deborah and Cell Electronics kind of jammed up, and at this point I'm just thinking maybe one of them will bin it, maybe they'll get into a little racing incident or something. As I look ahead, they're pretty well spaced out. That's not going to happen. So, finishing in 7th for my first Manufacturers Cup. And I'm okay with that. There's a penalty, of course. I sucked at the chicane section. Why not just spin out as much as you can on the last section? So, that is how I wrapped it up. That's how I did it. It was, you know, it was a good week of racing, to be honest with you. I can't complain. I know I can't win them all. 2 tracks that are not my best. So, my message I leave for everybody: race because you want to, win because you're fastest, and keep the rubber side down, ladies and gentlemen. SlowMoe out.